Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Did you know I have a Patreon? You can go over there and support the channel. Now onto the stories. Case file number 873, written by Sethicus to Ash. The world ended on Thanksgiving. So this happened a few days ago on Thanksgiving Day, November 24th. I was getting ready to go to my friend's for dinner in my bedroom and heard more noise than usual outside. I went to my window to get a visual on what was happening in the local neighborhood. There was more going on than would be a typical day, but there are always normal neighborhood things happening, such as people in the yards and kids playing, dogs barking, squirrels, cars going by, and so on and so forth. There was nothing different in this moment besides the fact that the commotion was amplified, understandably so, seeing as it was a holiday. I took it in for a few seconds and went to the bathroom to pee. Mind you, I couldn't have been there for more than 2 minutes. I went back to the window because I needed to close it up before I left for my friend's house, and what I witnessed I don't think I'll ever fully comprehend beyond just accepting it as a universal glitch of some sorts, or interference with my own conscience. When I went to the window, there literally was nothing going on. Not one person, not one noise, not one car. When I said nothing, I mean I could feel how silent and still it was, and the atmosphere was very heavy. I stood there, if not out of shock of sorts, for at least 5 minutes just waiting for someone or something or some noise to interrupt this deafening silence. I finally came to and got my bearings together enough to go downstairs and out the front door to get a better perspective, and this is when my heart skipped probably 5 beats. I opened the door and literally everything that was present prior to the 7 minutes during the bathroom trip and my experience at the window was again in action. All my neighbors had at least a car in their driveway, kids were playing, birds were chirping, people out and about in cars going by. I since then subtly gained more insight into what my neighbors were up to, and every one of them said they never went anywhere during that time. Between noon and 2 p.m. is what I asked, to make it easier for them to remember. I can't afford to have them think I was hallucinating or something, which I swear I wasn't, as I do not use anything beyond a non-narcotic anxiety medicine called Inderol. Case notes for file 873. The world ended on Thanksgiving. So in these cases where the world seemingly just stops, goes dead, you're the only one alive, or at least the only one you're able to perceive. I remember the first story I read about this, where it was just a kid that was stuck in his own home, or rather, he awoke in his home. Just a normal day, but no one was around. And he couldn't hear any sounds from anyone else. It was completely dead, a dead world, and it lasted the entire day for him. More recently, there was a similar story, but it was an adult in a city. I don't remember if the kid had to go to bed first before things were restored. And now in this story, you didn't have to sleep at all. It only lasted a couple minutes, maybe 5 minutes. What is causing people to transition? In their perception, or is it their entire soul that is being pulled to another universe? Maybe it is simply the distance they're being pulled to. If it's a really far universe, maybe it requires many hours, or even a mental reset of sleep. But that would be my impression, that your soul was literally stuck in limbo, a temporary dead server that's meant just to occupy you for a brief period of time, because I guess you can't occupy nothing. You have to be in some universe, even during the transition process. It's like the data is being copied, takes some time to transfer it, at a greater distance. Something like that. Case file number 874, written by JanetInSpain, the best friend I'd never met before. This happened a while back, but still makes me go, I was new to the San Francisco Bay Area and was invited to a garden party by some people I met at a festival. I was kind of standing around feeling awkward when my eye caught a woman on the other side of the room. She also looked straight at me. We ran to each other and hugged, almost crying about how long it had been. Then we started trying to remember where we'd met. We'd never lived in the same city before. We'd never worked for the same company. We had no mutual friends. We never attended the same school or church. We had exactly 0 history together. But our first glance and hug were of recognition and long-lost affection. No drugs were going on at the party. I'd had less than 1 glass of wine. It wasn't any type of altered state that caused a sense of familiarity. We literally saw each other across the room and immediately ran, arms outstretched towards each other. I've always wondered if it was a glitch or a past life memory. We were inseparable for months, total best friends. Then one day I called to ask if I could come over. My husband and I were having serious issues and I wanted to spend away time for the day with my best friend. She said no, that she didn't want my negative energy in her home. We never spoke or saw each other again after that. Whatever we needed to finish when we saw each other across that room had reached its conclusion. That door closed permanently. The whole thing was a surreal experience. Oh, and I divorced my husband. I wish I could now remember her name. I tried to find her on Facebook, but it's as if it was wiped from my brain. Case notes for file 874, The Best Friend I've Never Met. My guess in connection to this is simply real-world connections. So in the real world, we probably have friends. Think of it like going to the arcade. Back in the 90s, you'd go to the arcade with your friend and goof around, try to beat each other's high scores and all that. Well, think of the real world in this context, the simulation we're playing, as a very advanced kind of arcade that suppresses your memory of the real world. It's the only way it can work. If this is true, then presumably we could still have friends in the real world, or at least people we know and have connected with deeply. And I think our souls, they resonate with that. And I guess soul is just a way to say the real brain that we have in the real world, those real memories, they may not be accessible consciously to us, but subconsciously. They're still there. So we're able to connect with other people, sort of soulmates, I guess, or friendmates, and we just know, yeah, this person is important to me. I don't know how, I don't know why, but they are. The only weird thing about the story is the fact that she just completely cut off contact with you for no apparent reason. Just one day she didn't like your negative energy. I don't know if something happened before that, but that seems odd, peculiar. I wonder what happened. Case file number 875, written by 13 Luthien 4077. You'll need glasses to see this glitch. I wear glasses. I get new glasses from the same optometrist every 2 years after my prescription changes. I am incredibly nearsighted. I get the same frame type since I'm used to it and think it looks good. They're usually a rose gold or pinkish metal half frame with the bottom half of the frames being plastic tubing to hold the lenses in tightly. My last pair were pink with swirling wave-like patterns on the legs of the frames. 2 weeks ago, I misplaced my new glasses. The nose pads were loose and of a firmer plastic than my old ones, so they clicked whenever I adjusted my glasses on my face. The metal was closer to gold than rose gold, and the legs still had little square patterns on them, almost like ancient Greek pottery or clothing sometimes has. The ear pads were close to the same color as the metal. I could not find these glasses anywhere. For 2 weeks I wore my old ones, while I looked for the newer glasses. Last night, my mother picked up a pair of glasses that no one in our house recognized. We all wear glasses, but we also all have different prescriptions. My father and brother are just barely nearsighted to the point that their glasses are just for driving and reading, whereas my mother requires trifocals. I do not require trifocals or bifocals, just yet. However, I am significantly more nearsighted than my father and brother with a steep astigmatism that no one in the family has. Regardless, the mystery glasses frames were a rich rose gold with brown ear pads. The legs were split-shanked at the hinges with wave patterns further down the leg. I firmly declared those were not my missing glasses since the frames looked nothing like the new ones. Everyone tried them on and the prescription of these mystery glasses only matched me. Therefore, logically, the glasses must be mine. These mystery frames are the most confirmed glitch I have ever experienced in my life. The nose pads click whenever the glasses shift or I adjust them. The prescription is undoubtedly mine. However, looking at old selfies, the frames are a different shape. I even took them to my optometrist's office and they confirmed the prescription is mine, but the frames did not come from their office. There is no brand serial number anywhere on these glasses. Nobody can tell me in the slightest where these frames came from, and I still cannot find the other frames. Case notes for file 875. You'll need glasses to see this glitch. The only thing I can think of is that somehow one of your family members has a copy of your prescription, broke the pair of glasses that you had bought recently, the new frames, and just reordered a new pair, complete with the frames and lenses, so as to not make you angry or frustrated that they had broken them. But this only is possible if they had a copy of your prescription, or somehow called your optometrist's office and got a copy that way. But I don't think they would share that kind of info with just a random person, even a family member. And as you say, you went to the optometrist and it wasn't their frame. So I don't think this is quantum immortality either, because they did know you, so that was really your optometrist's office. So why would you have gone to a different optometrist to get a different pair of frames that isn't your style? It doesn't really fit. It doesn't seem like it's de-rendered objects just reappearing. It was your prescription, but it wasn't your frames. It's like the universe getting jumbled up and putting an incorrect frame on your lenses? Perhaps. I'm just going to chalk this one up to an eyesight guardian angel. That guardian angel truly is looking out for you. Huh? And those are my notes for tonight. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and subscribe away if you haven't already. What are you waiting for? Kinetic Symphony, signing off.